Scared of two words, NPP cadre in all-out attacks. President Ranil Wickremesinghe's longtime news planter Asoka Jayatunga writes the weekly President's E-column under the pen name Washington Wolf from Washington, D.C. This week's headlines are Lone Elephant, aka Cunning Fox, who fought to win the world. Opposition perplexed by good news. Scared of two words, NPP cadre in all-out attacks. Posters signed to Galley. SLPP candidate poster, a fake. Some UNP members ignorant of the truth spoil plans. Blockade to JVP's old game of strikes. Rs 13,000 to Rs 27,000. Pay hike for teachers in past 2 years. After JVP boasted of closing all 1,000, government declares it an essential service. Warning to officials in politics sabotaging Urumaya. American Mahinda and New Jersey cricket. The column is as follows. Political circles were perplexed by the overnight good news poster campaign. Unable to understand things, the opposition was flawed. Scared of those two words, unleashed an all-out attack. The SJB seemed unconcerned, but differences prevailed within. Agreements were signed with the 17-member Paris Club and China to restructure $10 billion, or 27% of total debt. The cunning fox fought with the world for months and brought inflation to a single digit from 79% during 6 quarters of bankruptcy. The media committee of the political cabinet was given the task of telling that to the country. A pre-campaign poster took the country by surprise. Ideas emerged that the address to the nation should also be the launching pad for the presidential polls. But it was decided not to mix it up with the matter of debt. Unaware of that, UNP National Secretary Ravi Karunanayake held a media briefing and said the presidential candidature will be announced alongside it. Many said some spoil plans altogether. Visiting Batticaloa, Ranil was at the Zion Church too. He didn't like the disruption to the renovation of the bombed church following the 2019 regime change, despite the allocation of funds. Many said the then government didn't take care of Muslim areas. President Wickremesinghe told his chief of staff, Sagala Ratnayaka, to renovate the church with monies from the president's fund and with army assistance. After distributing Urumaya deeds, the president visited Minister Vyalendiran at his home. He contested from the Tamil National Alliance, but is now a leader of a party himself. While having tea, Ranil got to know that he is a popular tuition master too. That one said he still gives tuition on weekends. The president went to Pillayan's office as well. He promised victory for him. On the following day, he was at the Katankudi church, and the cunning fox didn't think twice before getting off from his vehicle to speak to the thronging people. MP Zahir Mulana accompanied him. At the Batticaloa airport on his way back to Colombo, he was met with his constant critic MP Shanakian Rasamanikam. They discussed problems in the area and politics. In the office on Monday, many commented to him about the poster. The fox shook his head and listened intently. He asked with a laugh as to who must have been behind it. Coming to know it was Manusha, he commended him for beating the JVP with his overnight poster campaign. It was such a success that other posters came up giving it various explanations. As the NPP cadre threw mud at it, one poster even said, "Good news, a SLPP candidate." Mahindananda claimed it to be a fake. Another bowled a googly, noting the opposition saying that it's not him but the creditors who should declare the country was free of bankruptcy. "I know what I know. Is the opposition against the country freeing itself from bankruptcy?" the fox retorted. He agreed with Information Director Dinith Chinthaka's idea of addressing the nation at 8 p.m. after the agreement was signed in Paris at 2 p.m. Sri Lanka time. Dinith sent letters to media institutions asking that time be allotted for the president at 8:00 p.m. on the 26th. Many websites and YouTube channels called him with requests for broadcasting rights. After all were accommodated, it became the presidential speech with the widest coverage. Both attempts by the fox to give 6 months more for the Attorney General went awry. But he decided to table the debt restructuring agreements by convening Parliament on July 2nd. Ashu crowned him with another title, Lone Elephant Who Fought on His Own. It was praised as an apt heading. The NPP was accused of trying to blame its downturn on the country and children by returning with a wave of strikes. It sacrifices teachers and public servants by staging strikes, but never says how it will raise their salaries if it comes to power, it was said. The number one task of the cunning fox was the distribution of deeds. For that, he was in Ampara too. Visibly angry, he warned state officials against trying to sabotage it. Consent was given when Ranj Bandara said supporters want to celebrate when the good news announcement comes. Sagala and Saman supervised arrangements for the address to the nation. Shehan and Dilith briefed him on the Paris developments. Chinese embassy staff did the rest. The president called on the Mahanayaka Theras too. They were told that teachers were striking on the day of the good news. The JVP boasted of closing all 10,000 schools. No one can be given pay hikes now. The raise given to the central bank was halted too. A pay hike of between rupees 13,000 and rupees 27,000 was given to teachers in the past 2 years. Children will be taught even by declaring teaching as an essential service, the fox said with emotion. The cunning fox just said "oh" to the suggestion from Candy that he should be firm with striking teachers and public servants. As usual, the column gives some marks to Ambassador in America, Mahinda too. Frequenting the Sri Lankan community, the American Mahinda was in New Jersey for the Sri Lanka School Cricket Carnival. He was commended for his lively conversations with the attendees, the column concludes.
The Leader, දේශයට මග කියන ප්‍රවෘත්ති පෙළගැස්ම